Welcome back. Last time we took a look at the big picture of the skeletal system. Today, we're diving deep into its core, the axial skeleton. This is the absolute foundation of your body. And hey, don't worry about memorizing every single bone name just yet. Seriously, our goal today is all about understanding the why behind the whole structure.
So here's our game plan. First up, we're going to talk about the elephant in the room, why anatomy can feel, well, totally overwhelming. Then we'll break down the three key parts of the axial skeleton: the skull, the spine, and the rib cage. And to wrap it all up, I'm going to share a really smart learning strategy that will hopefully make all this stuff just click.
All right, so let's jump right into that feeling of being overwhelmed. We're going to flip that script from confusion to confidence. And it all starts by just admitting, yeah, this stuff can be tricky.
I mean, does this look familiar to you? You open up that heavy anatomy textbook, you see a diagram just packed with labels, and boom, it's instant information overload. If that's you, trust me, you are so not alone.
Yeah, this thought right here, too many names, too many bones. It's completely normal to feel that way. But you know, trying to just blindly memorize a giant list of terms, that's a recipe for frustration. And honestly, it's just not a great way to learn.
So let's just agree to flip that script, okay? Today, we're going to focus on the why and the how before we even touch the what. Think of it like building a mental framework. And you'll see the names start to stick way more easily once you have that foundation.
Okay, let's get to it. We're starting at the very top with the skull. And you can just think of it as the ultimate helmet, right? It's perfectly designed to protect your brain. But get this one single structure is actually made up of 22 different bones. Wild, right?
Now I know what you're thinking. 22 bones sounds like a ton. But here's the cool part. They're all neatly organized into just two main groups, which makes this whole thing way simpler. And here they are. Those 22 bones can be broken down really simply. You've got the cranial bones, which basically formed the brain case, and then you've got the facial bones, which, you guessed it, make up your face.
And this brings us right back to our main theme today. Function is everything. The cranial bones, like the frontal bone that makes up your forehead, they have one major job: protect that all-important brain. Meanwhile, the facial bones, like your mandible, that's your jawbone, they have a different job: structuring your face and housing your senses. See? When you think about their purpose first, it all starts to make sense.
All right, moving on down from the skull, we get to the spine, your body's central pillar. I mean, this incredible column of bones is literally what holds you up.
So, the spine is built from 33 individual bones called vertebrae, all stacked on top of each other. But here's the thing. They aren't all the same, not even close. They're grouped into these really distinct regions, and each one has a very specific job to do.
So let's break this down. Way up top, you've got the 7 small cervical vertebrae in your neck. These are what let you nod and turn your head. Right below that, the 12 thoracic vertebrae are special because they're the ones that anchor your ribs. Then you've got the 5 massive lumbar vertebrae in your lower back. These guys are built for bearing a lot of weight. And finally, at the very base, the fused bones of the sacrum and coccyx form your tailbone. See how each section is perfectly designed for its role? So when you zoom out and look at the big picture, the spine is juggling 3 huge jobs all at once. It supports your entire body, it protects that vital spinal cord that runs right down the middle of it, and it allows for this amazing range of movement. It's really an engineering marvel when you think about it.
Okay, now for the final piece of our axial skeleton puzzle, the rib cage. And if the skull is your brain's helmet, you can think of the rib cage as this flexible shield, basically standing guard over your heart and lungs.
And the structure is actually beautifully simple. It's just 12 pairs of ribs that curve around from your spine, and then they connect at the front to this one flat bone called the sternum, or as you probably know it, the breastbone.
Its functions are just as clear. Job number 1 is protection, right? It forms that protective cage around your heart and lungs. But it also has this really dynamic role. The entire structure actually expands and contracts, which makes it absolutely essential for the very active breathing.
Okay, so we've gone through the skull, the spine, and the rib cage. Now, let's tie this all together with a smarter way to learn, a whole new blueprint for making this information actually stick.
This right here, this is your path to mastery. First off, tackle just one region at a time. Seriously, master the skull before you even think about moving to the spine. Second, draw it out. Even if you think you can't draw, simple sketches make a huge difference. Third, and this is probably the most important tip, always follow this order. Start with a function connected to the location, and only then do you worry about the name. And finally, just be patient with yourself. Real understanding comes first, the memorization part will follow naturally.
And here's the big takeaway for today. The axial skeleton is the core of everything. I'm telling you, once you truly understand this central framework, learning the rest of the skeleton, the arms, the legs, it becomes so much easier. You've built the foundation.
So the real question now is, are you ready to start building on this foundation? Because what we've covered today, believe it or not, is just the beginning.
In our next explainer, we're going to put all this knowledge into practice with some exercises. We'll explore why this stuff is so important in a clinical setting, and I'll share even more powerful memory tips. So if you're ready to go from feeling overwhelmed to feeling confident, make sure you join us. Because when you get the core of your body, the rest of anatomy just kind of falls into place.